Okay, guys, so made a decision. I am going to the books I'm working on. I'm gonna add a few more to what we're doing. Why? Information. Same as the other whys, okay? It's just the information is so important, you guys. And I feel like we're really in a time crunch. Sorry, Scott texted me. Um, Sorry, guys. That was my daughter. Okay. Anyway, I feel like we're on a time crunch, and I really want to make sure you guys get all this information. All is kind of a relative term because I have almost 8,000, getting close to 8,000 pins. Don't think I'm gonna get all them up here. I would have to constantly work on videos, which I've actually considered, considering the fact that, hey, I'm not being scheduled for any hours at work. But thankfully Scott does start Dollar General pretty soon. He'll be working both jobs. And I'm getting into the merchandise for Faith First, so get enough of it, maybe I can make that my job. Anyway, but yeah, so the next one I'm gonna start is this one. Homesteading Animals, 4 books in one. It's a 4-book bundle. Raising rabbits, chickens, ducks, and geese. And again, there's going to be 14 books I'm going to be working on. Once I get through the new 4 that I'm adding, I'm going to go back to lasagna gardening and I'm going to do a few out of there and so on and so on and so on. And I'm just going to try to get through these books, get through these books, get through these books. It's so important. This information is so important, you guys. So, here we go. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. That was Chloe. Alright. Here we go. So, the first one is on raising rabbits. Rabbits. Book 1, Rearing Rabbits. Homesteading Animals, Rearing Rabbits for Meat and Fur. This includes rabbit... Okay, actually all 4 of these books in one. And I'm not going to do the recipes until the end of the book. Includes rabbit, duck, and game recipes for the slow cooker. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. Why keep rabbits? I suppose the quick answer to this question would be, why not? For us, it's going to be for the business, for the babies. And that's going to be part of Chloe's part of the business, where she's going to put that money into her part of the homestead. So, why not? For the fact is, the rabbit is one of the cheapest, most nutritional, and good for you meats available in the marketplace today. We're not going to be doing them for meat. We're going to be doing them for the business, for selling the babies. So, for the homesteader, or indeed anyone with space for a simple rabbit hutch or enclosure, the rabbit is cheap to buy, produces a very lean meat, which is high in protein, low in fat, and has less than half the calories of pork. Rabbits are easy to rear and breed and make considerably less noise than chickens or geese. They are super efficient converters, pound for pound. A rabbit produces 6 times more meat per food and water intake than a full-grown cow. Wow. Check out the following chart to compare rabbit with other popular meat sources. All right, I'll show this real quick. Common nutritional value. Rabbit, 20.8% protein, 4.5% fat, 795 calories per pound. Beef, 16.7% protein, 28% of fat, and 1,440 calories per pound. Wow, that's a lot. Lamb, 15.7% protein, 27.7% fat, and 1,420 calories per pound. Chicken, 20% protein, 17.9% fat, and 810 calories per pound. Pork, that is a lot. And we're raising feeder pigs. Why? 11.9% protein, 45% fat, and 2,050 calories per pound. I don't know, I might change my mind on the feeder pigs. Just because that's not great. I was thinking the bacon and the ham, though. That's why. Unless I can just find somebody from locally that we could get it for. Duck, 16% protein, 28.6% fat, and 1,015 calories per pound. Turkey, 20% protein, 20% fat, and 1,190 calories per pound. All right. Quite apart from the meat, there is also the fur or pelts to consider. While this is pretty much dependent on the breed of rabbit you intend to keep, the pelts can be sold on to help make a few extra dollars for feedstuffs, etc., quite apart from whatever you may decide to make with them. Clothing such as pocket warmers, glove collars, warm liners for boots, etc. More on what you can do with rabbit pelts later in the book. For anyone involved with homesteading or hobby farming, then I hope to help convince you through this short introduction that rabbits are indeed worth considering when it comes to self-sustainability issues and feeding the family with top quality homegrown products. Just as is the case with all types of poultry farming, breeding rabbits can have a major impact when it comes to stocking the food larder, and is also a great way to introduce the idea of homesteading values to kids. As a youngster, one of my first jobs was to look after the rabbits and thereby gain invaluable knowledge in the years to come regarding the rearing and general care of several species of domestic animals. It was an excellent grounding in the whole area of self-sustainability and something I've never regretted learning over the years since then. Though I do remember hating it at a time when my friends were off enjoying the football and I was cleaning out rabbit cages. LOL. Okay, so here's the introduction. And then the glossary of terms, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. But I'll do the intro and then that'll be the first video for this book. Alright, rabbit, in my opinion, is one of the most underestimated and ignored sources of food available in the marketplace today. The reasons are numerous, but go as far back as the film Watership Down in 1978, when children the world over were lulled into the whole idea of the cute bunny rabbit and went around singing bright eyes burning like fire, bright eyes. Yeah, call me cynical, but that is where it all went wrong. The UK in particular went rabbit crazy, and then the idea of treating rabbit as a food source went right out the window. Strangely enough, this corruption did not seem to hit Europe in general as much as it did the UK and the USA. Rural France in particular has always seen rabbits and even guinea pigs as an excellent, cheap, but highly nutritional food source, and rightly so. Another big reason to my mind for this move away from the livestock yard to the pet's cage was the introduction of myxomatosis. First discovered in Uruguay at the end of the 19th century, it was introduced to Australia in 1950, and in 1952, introduced almost by accident into France by the bacteriologist bacterial bacterio bacteriologist. That's hard to pronounce for me. Dr. Paul Armand Delisle was trying to control the rabbits on his private estate. The virus quickly spread throughout France, wiping out some 90% of the rabbit population, before spreading throughout the rest of Europe. By 1955, 95% of the UK rabbit population suffered the same fate, and the disease virus has now spread throughout the United States and South Africa. In all examples, the results were devastating to the rabbit populations and in different ways contributed to the lack of interest in many quarters today with regards to rabbits as a genuine food source. Okay, I'd never heard of that until just now. Any of you guys hear of that? Because I'd never heard of it. There were several reasons for the demise of the rabbit from our butcher shop windows. Firstly, the fact that many children were now keeping rabbits as pets resulted in them growing up to consider them as just that. This meant that to kill and eat their rabbits would be tantamount to killing and eating their dog or cat. First lesson in keeping animals for meat, never give them a name. To do so is to personalize them and make it difficult, even for adults, to consider killing them for meat. Naming something gives it personality and makes it many more times difficult when the day comes to introduce them as a guest of honor at the dinner table. Secondly, I don't know if you have ever seen a rabbit with myxomatosis. If not, then believe me, it's not a pretty sight. The first signs of a rabbit with myxy is usually the fact that they do not run away from you. This is because the swelling and discharge from their eyes makes them blind, whilst the virus causes them to stumble around as if drunk. It is indeed a pitiful sight and would put anyone off the idea of eating rabbit should they come across one infected by this hideous virus. Even though the disease cannot be transmitted to humans, making the rabbit itself fit for consumption. Thirdly, some simple economics have played their own part in the demise of rabbit from our dinner tables. With the loss of supply exacerbated by the myxy, coupled with the reluctance of breeders to breed something that no one wants, the sight of rabbit hanging in the butcher's window became something of a rarity, meaning that fewer and fewer children grew up with the idea that rabbit was indeed on the menu. Thankfully, however, things seem to be on the turn again. Interest in rabbit as a good nutritional food source is growing, along with the general interest in healthy homegrown food. Rabbits are once again adorning my local butcher shop's window, and while it may still be something of a novelty in some areas, people are finally awakening to the nutritional value of this much ignored food source. Hopefully this trend will continue and offer a welcome financial as well as material boost to any homesteader who is keen to learn all about rearing rabbits for profit as well as for meat and fur. Alright, so that's it for that. The introduction of it. The next one is on choosing your rabbits. And that'll go into the rabbit breeds, which I will name them off and I'll show the pictures of all the ones that they have. And that'll be a video, and then it'll go into rabbit care, and then the costs and considerations, which will be separate videos. Startup costs, that'll be a separate video. Production expectations, another video. Commercial choices, another video. Breeding, another video. Killing and butchering, another video. Preparing the pelts, another video. And then it gives the recipes, which I'm not going to go into until the end of the book, or the last book out of here because it gives the same recipes for each one. So after the preparing the pelts, then we'll go straight into the ducks. So that's that for that one right there, and I will get off from here and get this up there, and I'm just going to start working on the books today. So I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to check your subscriptions, you guys. Make sure you're still subscribed. Click on that notification bell. Click on all to make sure you get all the notifications. And do your research. I can't stress it enough. I say it all the time. Do your research. Every animal, every vegetable, every fruit. Anything that you're going to do on your homestead or thinking about doing on your homestead, there's a lot of information behind it. So do your research. Create a binder. Just create that plan and go with it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.